for a TV channel, you cannot be black on air.
No.
Or if you are recording sports, you don't want to miss the goal. We have a large customer, sports organization, and they have to travel to different places, and they take MacBook Pro, and then your Pro data and ingest software in a backpack, and off you go.
Broadcast used to mean big trucks, heavy racks, and tons of gear. Now everything from multi-channel ingest to streaming fits in a backpack. In this episode of Workflow Kitchen, we'll show how live event production is getting lighter, faster, and more mobile with Softron apps.
Hi everybody, it's Martin from iodyne. We're here another episode of Workflow Kitchen, and we've got one of our very special friends of iodyne here. This is Pierre Chevalier from Softron. Make sure I pronounce your last name properly because
Chevalier.
Chevalier. Chevalier. Chevalier. I tried it yesterday and
I don't
get
care.
it. Chevalier. Actually, it's Chevalier. Not bad?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's good.
How do you do so? It's
I'm
very
doing
nice
very fine. It's nice being here.
Yeah, isn't it good? Back in the kitchen. We're going to be talking about all the Softron applications today. We're going to be talking about movie recorder. We're going to be talking also about streaming and playback. That's going to be really cool. Going to get into that stuff. We're also going to kind of look at some of the great combinations when you pair that with some of the iodyne devices like Pro Data, and really kind of what's powerful and unique about that. Let's talk a little bit about the applications actually across Softron.
Yeah, so Softron, we are doing software on a Mac, and we have a wide range of applications. It goes from ingest, we can do multiple channels of ingest using, so you connecting cards from AJ, Blackmagic, DeltaCast, and then you can receive your signal in SDI or with IP to 110 now, of course, or NDI. So you receive all these signals in the application, and you can record them on your storage. So really multiple channel with growing files and so on. So that's for the ingest part.
Nice.
We have, and it goes to playout. So playout applications are used at different scenarios. So it can be used for a live show. So if you are producing a show where you would simply want to play out video, on set, on a screen, or whatsoever. We have newsroom production also playing with our application, and we have 24/7 channels that are playing as a scheduled playout. With so they play 24/7.
So it's
a schedule, So basically, they create the playlist. They create a schedule that will call this playlist. And they do their broadcast with it.
That was one of the things that was really interesting in those early days, because we met at the IBC show. I think it was a couple of years ago, and straight away that was one of the fun kind of like little sort of play Lego jobs that we were doing, which was going, okay, let's take Silicon Studios, let's take these capture cards, let's see how we can max out the streams. And obviously why that was interesting to us is because we're working with the Pro Data, obviously very high write bandwidth. So straight away we started trading emails back and forth and going, okay, theoretical limits of this in 4K, in 8K and HD and all this kind of stuff. And we then kind of, once you kind of stand back and look at that as a solution, that's what got me really excited, because you're talking about, either a laptop or a studio, very, very low footprint, and then something like the Pro Data, pair that. This is, again, I go back to the fact that this was usually big hardware. This was big install. And now this is something that, honestly, I could travel in a backpack, which is how has that revolutionized something like sports, for example?
Yes, absolutely. We have customers. We have a large customer, sports organization, that is using our software in order to train the referees. And so in order to train them, they have to travel to different places, and they take MacBook Pro, and then your Pro data and ingest software in a backpack, and off you go.
It's now giving ability to organizations or productions or studios, is giving this ability that usually would have actually been very hard to obtain.
Travel, before that, either you would have to have a very large pelican case
or rolling racks or something like that.
Rolling racks to a ship with, it would be very complex. But now with this power on a MacBook Pro, you can, on the test we do with the Pro Data, it's 16 channels of 4K. So,
I mean, that was fun testing that as well. Actually, on the booth, we also built a little box to kind of mimic. I think we've got 4K UHDs at 60. So, but we know we can go well above that, and it's a really fun project when you start building these things, especially for demo. I've been using it as a really great proxy recorder as well, because especially for there's multicam, and then there's kind of almost super multicam, and that's when we do get into not just the 4 cams, talking 8 cams, 6 cams, 32, even more. So I've been playing around with that because it's been a fantastic proxy recorder as well, because again, incredibly robust, and the simplicity of it means that it can fit into the fast pace of television and cinema. Yeah. I think maybe I went into it thinking it would be more complicated, and then I chatted with Robert, and he was just like, "No, it's really," which we appreciate, because on the iodyne side we keep our software very simple as well, so it actually pairs really nicely in that respect. And obviously we're kind of talking about sort of we're in because a lot of how we break things down is read and write, and then the action in between, input, output. We've been talking about the input, we've been talking about write speeds, and we've actually got a really great one sheet that we work together on that, so that's fantastic. We'll pop a link to that. But then kind of shifting to the output, the read speed, which obviously is something we're very proud of as well, because we can read it over 5,400 megabytes a second. But that kind of tees into some of the, not just movie recorder, but also some of the other applications that you guys are working with. So it'd be great if you could tell me a little bit about, playback and streaming. Get into that a little bit. That'd be great.
So for the playback, we have the software called On-the-Air Video. That's our playback application, and it can play multiple channels. So you can have 8 channels. We could even do more, but then in terms of use case and user interface, it's more the user interface than actually.
You've still got to fit them on the screen.
Yes. So it can be used, either the software, as I said, can be used at live production. So you could go on with a laptop, the Pro Data, up in your backpack, and go on set. And you need output devices, of course, a box with a Blackmagic AGA Delta Cascades to output your signal, or if it's NDI, then you don't even need an output box. You would just need the laptop, the storage, and output to NDI.
That's great. I've got to start playing with some of the NDI stuff as well, because again, I kind of can't help make this comparison, kind of like the way it used to be, this big sort of heavyweight, and then the way that you're doing it now in this incredibly lightweight. But it's got to be incredibly robust under the hood there, especially when you're talking about these kind of live 24-hour, streaming.
Absolutely. We are used to work with those kind of customers because, of course, for a TV channel, you cannot be black on air.
No.
Or if you are recording sports, you don't want to miss the goal. So we know that our software are used at very important places and in important workflows. So we do test a lot.
Was that again a big challenge, or was that just something, again, working with the sort of the Apple Silicon and stuff? You were like, no, we know exactly what we can do here.
The Apple Silicon has been a major change for us because on the Apple Silicon platform, Apple has added media engines, what they call. So it's something that offload the processing of the decoding or encoding of a codec to a separate chip. So basically, when you are encoding or decoding H.264, HEVC, or ProRes, it's not done on the CPU. So it's a separate chip. Yes.
So it's actually separated the two functions.
So it's good because then it means that the CPU can do other things, or the GPU. So it's free to do other things, and the decoding or encoding of the software is done on these separate chips.
So actually, kind of like by compartmentalizing the jobs, it's actually really, it's kind of made the Softron applications even more powerful in that respect.
Yes, absolutely.
Really giving it a boot.
The good thing with Apple platform is that we have a limited set of hardware to test. So it all comes also about your question about reliability testing.
Being able to keep that robustness in this.
So we have, currently there are Mac Pros, Mac Minis, Mac Studios, and there's a limited set. So we just need to make sure that it works fine on these platforms.
What's, because you guys seem to just be doing an incredible amount of stuff all of the time. What are you really excited about next? What are you kind of seeing that is kind of catching your eye and going, you know what, I think this might be something that could be interesting for Softron to keep an eye on,
Well, what's really getting to speed now is the SMT 2110 workflow. So instead of getting video from SDI, it's using all IP workflows. And there's also the coming up the immersive production.
That's a whole other complication as well, because visually,
but we know that there will be people that will have to or want to produce for immersive media for the Vision Pro. and it's an insane amount of data.
Yeah, it really does. It suddenly jumps
Yeah,
to, you know, frame rate wise, you're going up, hertz you're going up.
For the Vision Pro, it's
And
8K 100 frames per second.
Right, and it's
I did the math of the number of pixels. It's per second. It's
well, you got the Pro data, so you'll be fine. Don't worry. But we'll also be there every step of the way with you, breaking things and trying to break things, just to have fun putting these workflows together. I've got one last question for you, Pierre.
Okay.
We ask everybody, with all this work you're doing, how are you sleeping these days? You doing good? You getting your Z's in?
That's okay.
I don't know about that,
always
you know.
getting ready for the trade show. We have a lot of work, making sure that we have all the features working. But yeah, it's been a great show so far.
Yeah,
we have a lot of customers. So, you know, it's always before the trade show, for me at least, it's the most stressful part, because making sure that we're ready. And then also, you know, it costs a lot of money to come here.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, will we have enough people? Did I choose the
right location? Did I get the right banners?
And so when the show starts, and then you see that people are coming, and you're there, you're like, okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
This is Iodine Workflow Kitchen, where media professionals and technologists break down real-world workflows and explore smarter, faster ways to create. If you enjoyed it, hit subscribe to catch the next episode.